Well, hi, and welcome to my shop here on November 29th. And I was getting ready to do some more alignment work when it suddenly struck me, no, this radio needs a new string. Under close observation, it was quite obvious the string was on its way to breaking. No doubt about it. So, now the interesting thing about this is I don't think that's the original string. And I'll tell you why. I have a couple of reasons for thinking that. Okay, let's just spin this around. Okay, the first reason is the knob is backwards. It's not supposed to go in that direction. It's going in the wrong direction. That almost certainly means the string is wound around here incorrectly. That almost certainly means the previous string broke, had fallen off, and whoever made the replacement with the new string just did it as best they could. And I'm going to guarantee you that after a lot of frustration, they got the new string on, went like this, and went, oh no, well, I'm leaving it. That's almost certainly how that happened, because I've been there, done that. Luckily, there is a stringing diagram in the manual that shows exactly how the string should go. And even in this camera angle, you can tell the string is coming across here, going underneath and around. It should be going over the top and around, and that would reverse the knob, and then the knob would turn and the pointer would move in the right direction. The other hint that this thing has had the string replaced is these screws. And you see the paint is knocked off here, a little bit knocked off there. This one has a washer added, but the others don't. And this screw is cross-threaded, and it's not even tightened in all the way. It's actually been left out. The panel's still quite stiff. So I think somebody who did the last string took the plate off, because it looks pretty simple on there. Oh, that's crazy. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Not crazy. What was going through my head was, are these wheels attached to the plate? And they look like it, but they're not. They're on their own metal stands, and the plate is attached to those same metal extensions here. So you could take the plate right off. What that also means is the position of the pointer on the string is probably not exactly correct, because whoever did it probably didn't put it on exactly correct. So that has a big role to play when doing the alignment, especially the absolutely final alignment, where I'm going to make the pointer line up very accurately with the dial face when it's all back in the cabinet again. Up until then, all I can do is rely on this, which should be perfectly fine, right? Should be. So first step here there's not really a first step. There's just to start going at it. I think I should probably compare the diagram I have to the way this is done, and just make sure there isn't something else kind of different about how this is done from the diagram. I can't imagine what that would be. There's not an awful lot of options with these things. This one's relatively simple, but it still helps if you have 6 hands while you're doing it. That's the whole deal. Okay, why don't we take a look at the stringing diagram here. Okay, let's take a look at the diagram here. The dial drive cord, that's what they like to call it. Drum shown with gang at maximum capacity. So first thing we can see is here's the tuning shaft that you turn with your hand, and you can see how the string comes over the top. On a radio on my bench, the string comes down underneath, and that's how it got on here backwards, and that's why turning the knob moves the pointer in the wrong direction. And it's very annoying. It's a very annoying thing. It's fairly straightforward to do. The challenges involve getting the length of the string right and things like that. So just follow it along here. It comes up, over. This is a very nice diagram, very clear how to do this. For anybody who's thinking about doing a string on a radio, if you haven't done one before, take some pills before you start, because it can be very hairy. That's my experience anyway. The first 4 or 5 radios I did, I pulled my hair out trying to do this. Now I really concentrate on staying calm and taking it easy, one step at a time, and I guess my experience helps too, so I'm not so scared. These things actually started scaring me at one point, especially European radios that have extensive string systems in them. This one's not so bad. Okay, so I'm going to take this plate off because it looks like such a simple thing to do. Inconsequential. A lot of radios, not so simple. You can't be taking the front panel off without all kinds of risk. Yeah, look at that. That was just all cross-threaded in there. Now you can imagine the fellow who did the string. Oh boy, what's going on here? Oh my gosh. Holy smokes. Bigger handled one here. Oh man, I'm gonna rip the head off this screw. What is happening? Holy smokes. Yikes. Okay, we're now gonna apply extra power here. You just never know where the difficulties are hidden. It feels loose now. Wow, that was really nothing special about that. Isn't that strange? They have. Oh, that's interesting. There's a little hole here, a little hole here, and they line up exactly with the axles on the 2 pulleys here. That shows you on some radios, those pulleys are mounted on the plate. I think that's what that means. Maybe not. Maybe it's some other reason they did that. There we go. Wow. Okay. Cleaning is in order too here. So we'll set this to, it said, what did it say? What did it say in the instructions? It must have been closed. Because here we are closed. There's the start point, like in the diagram. There's the spring. Not putting too much pressure on. Take the dial pointer off. Luckily they didn't do something dumb and glue it. Okay. There we are. Can't say I've ever changed a string that hasn't broken, but this one's not long for the world, that's for sure. Okay, I'm gonna go and rest up and get ready for this stressful event. So usually I'm doing this with a radio that's the string is broken on it, and sometimes you can't be sure if you've got the whole string or not, and it's pretty hard to figure out the string length, which is one of the issues with doing this kind of work. In this case, the string is still in one piece, so I should really get it off and make a measurement. Now, a lot of the string guides will give you a measurement, and I found that to be unreliable. If you measure the string out according to what they tell you and then try to fit it on, it's probably not going to work out. maybe because of the knot or something like that. String is good. Spring is good, rather. So we get this one out in one piece. And I should be able to use it. What I'm always trying to do is not waste my expensive string here. There we are. It's much longer than people would imagine. I don't think it was a very good demonstration of how long it is. This is probably almost 1.5 meters long. That's a lot of string there. Now we can really look at the weak part in it. There's just an area here where it's just gone really, really weak. There you are. Damn, you broke it before you used it to measure. You bozo. That's okay, because I'm not going to cut the string. I'm going to try to install the string as much as I can without cutting it. But this gives me some idea. At least it was going to give me some idea. Yeah, you're a dummy. So I usually get some pieces of tape ready to stick the string down while I'm working on it. Some clamps and stuff like that. Okay, that gets us to here. There's really not much reason for doing this, but I'm doing it. Slipped, so it's not even accurate. That's some idea anyway of where I'm going with this string. That's a fair bit. So I think probably the best starting end is with the spring loaded end, I'm thinking, because you can pull on it and the spring will provide some tension, spring type tension. What am I going to do with my hand here? I will put a little dot there, and why, I don't even know. But since I measured it, I might as well do something here. Okay, a little red dot there. Just curious to see how that goes. So first you got to put a loop in the end. See, you use up string already. Making a loop. Special string tools, a special string tool, which I really should get down here. Okay. So what's special about this is how I bent this end of it. I call that the pusher-puller tool. My own invention. But you can bend one yourself if you want. Really, the biggest challenge in doing this is keeping your head when all those about you are losing theirs, blaming it on you. Keeping your head. This is the challenge here. Okay, so there's a nice big loop. So when they punch these holes here, they punch them through and they bend the metal down, and the metal becomes a smooth uncutting surface to run the string down. So it must be going this way to meet up with this. But I've already forgotten. I don't have the diagram in front of me at the moment. Just want to get it through the hole. That's the main thing. Hook this on here. Hook this on here. Good, so the knot is not going to interfere. Okay, now we need to look at the string guide from here. Some of these wheels have tracks in them. This one does. So it has two tracks, a track and a track here. And the right string has to go on the right track, or the strings will cross each other at the wrong time and get tangled up, interfere with each other. So I'm just going to pop that diagram up on my own computer here and take a look. So we are coming out. We are heading up here right away. I didn't get the tape ready. I don't have clamps ready, but we'll just fool around here for a while. See how this has already come undone. You can see that this wheel is lining up with this groove, this outside groove here. So we'll go under, come up. I don't expect this to go, tickety-boo here. I am mentally prepared for a harrowing experience. Or I should take some heroin before doing this. That wouldn't help much, would it? Take some heroin. Yeah. My daily heroin shot. Okay, we're coming back across. We're going down. It even says right on the instructions, rear groove. Okay, that's good. Let's get this over on the rear groove. Coming down. Now we got to get the string. Things get difficult. I can't push this through all the spaces it needs to go, so I just have to play out more and more string from it. I consider this just a practice session. Okay, I take my tool, try to hook the string, hook that string. Okay, brought it down, applying some pressure to it. Okay, there's the red mark coming. Hey, we're almost done. Down we come over the top and around from the rear forward. Okay, so we come over the top. Over the top from the rear forward 3 times. 1, 2. Now is that 3? Sure looks like 3 complete revolutions here. 3. We come out the top. Obviously go up this way. There's only one option. Come around. On which groove? In front groove. So it's in the front groove, but it's got to come behind this one in the front groove. There's the red mark. I got to come through here. I got to come all the way down to here. So what's this red mark? Something go wrong? Okay, no, nothing's going wrong. This is going really great. This is going to be the easiest one I ever did. Look at that. I can come right through. Hook it. Hook it. Hook that baby. Okay. Now what we need to do is mark the length. So the string is on the pulleys. Everything is correct. That's not so good. So we want to get this to go. Sometimes just doing this is enough to get the string to slide, and you can pull it like I'm doing. Pull this spring. Take this off. Do that. Oh, I didn't want that to happen. I think the tool's helping there. There. Go. Tighten her down. Let everything fall off. Doesn't seem like it. Okay. So we're trying to get the length correct. So the knot should be right there. Not the red mark is up here. Oh, such mysteries. Uh-oh, my phone in my pocket. I apologize if you've been listening to my phone exchanging data there. All the clicking you may have heard. Okay. So I'm trying not to waste my string. Okay, so the string is fairly pulled. Do we want it any tighter than that? Anybody recognize that tune? There we go. That's where you want the end of the knot to be. Okay. We must cut it now. I'm ready to cut it. We'll cut it. I'm going to be tying it into a loop like this. And pulling it down over that. I think I got it right. Okay, we're going to cut it here. Now we got to tie the knot. Tie the knot. There we go. Oops, try that again. That ding is people sending me emails after watching the video I posted. No, probably not. I get a few emails from people like you, viewers. Come on, look at it. There we go. Oh, did I get a full knot there? I don't think I got a full knot. I got a half knot. Get in the right place. Oh, it's so small. That's not going to work. I got a half knot and it's too small. Now I have the pleasure of trying to untie this. My big clumsy fingers. Okay, let's try this again. Keep it like that. a single knot again. What happened? Okay, but I got a much bigger loop this time, and the red thing is way up here. Oh, it just slid. Yeah, it's a single knot is no good. You know, I think that's a total slip knot. Disappeared. Like a magic trick. Now you see it, now you don't. Let's try this one more time here. Well, I'm going to keep trying it till I get it, really. What I'm going to do, I'm going to relieve myself here. I'm going to pull this out. Maybe that's not the best choice of words. I'm going to make this just a little easier on me. Give me more range of motion of my hands here. That's better. Got it. Big loop, double knot, red thing right at the end. Very good. Okay, go here. Notice there's openings down here. Must be for a different radio, different model or something. Okay, now we don't want this to interfere, so we want it behind the other string in the front groove. Now, all we got to do, this has gone great. This is a record. Oh, look at how short it is. What happened? How did that happen? What gives? There's the red dot. Just from this? No, it can't be. What's going on? How did I get so far off? So I've got to make it all the way down to there. Well, maybe. Okay, so I've got to apply pressure, turn the wheel, get this thing to move here. Way up there. Okay, we'll fit it on. There it is. Let's go back a bit. And look at that. My hand moves the right direction. We'll go the whole distance, make sure nothing is done. Wow, okay, so this was my best ever string job, for sure. That's fantastic. That took me less than half as long as I thought. Maybe taking this front plate off was a big deal. So now we have to determine where the pointer goes on the string. The pointer kind of snaps into the string. The string is woven through here a little bit, and can't really do that. I think. I believe what's going on here is either these marks right on the end are the official start place. So you dial the radio all the way over and then slide the pointer on the string until it lines up with these. The odd radio has a special mark on here. I think it's just the same thing on the other side. They all line perfectly up, and there's no other weird marks in here. So that's probably all it is. You just have to set it, but the problem is the glass is, well, it's in the radio back there. How would I do this? I'd have to position the radio into the cabinet with the pointer on. I can put the pointer on now. Okay, it's somewhere in this area. And then I have to slip it into its proper place. It's a pretty tight string here. There. Holding good. Look at that. Look at that. Round of applause. I deserve it for that. Didn't lose my mind. Fantastic. Okay. Let me check and see once again how much video I've done already this morning. I don't think it's that much actually. And I'll decide if I want to go further because it's already lunchtime here. Yeah. So before I put the backing plate back on, I thought I would just take a black magic marker and darken down some of these spots here that I've scratched through. But I noticed that when you look at it, you can see a spot right here. That looks like a paint spot that someone's taken a brush. There's another little one here. I suspect during the manufacture there's a point where somebody has a little bit of paint and they touch up a couple of scratches. That may have happened. That's what my imagination says. So we just want to darken these down so they won't be reflective. And better black than shiny the way they are. I think it'd be very hard to see this. This is where the bottom of the pointer is dragging back and forth across here. This may not even be visible. It may be too low in the class. Boy, that's really black, isn't it? I found a lot of things, in life generally, when they're in rough shape, you work on them to improve them to maybe 90%, make a great improvement, but that last 10% really stands out, and all your work is kind of for nothing. That may be the case here. This is coming down a little low. This is probably above where you can see it, but let me get rid of it. I think the black is better. Okay, so we're going to put this in put this on the radio and stick the radio in the cabinet, and then try to set the pointer in the right place on the string. Then we'll be all set for. I did clean this a little bit, but I didn't put any water on it. I just took a dry cloth and just kind of dusted it a little bit, because I'm pretty sure if I put water on it, I really start trying to wash it down, I'll end up with a worse situation instead of a better one. Okay, so now we mount the plate. Trouble driving these screws in, probably. The last guy did. Where's the holes? The piece must have sprung in a little bit or something. Something has shifted a bit. what it is. I know exactly what's happened. Could be in trouble here. My wonderful string job may have a big problem. So when I tightened up the string, it's pulling these two wheels together, and it's pulled the frame in a little bit. I have to pull it out to get the screws in, and that's going to tense up the string much more. Oh boy. Almost a 1/4 inch. Oh boy. I don't know. Wow. Very painful on the finger. This won't work. Oh my gosh. Simplest things. Wow! That's not the string I'm pushing against. These whole brackets must be tipped in a little bit. Can I loosen those off? I can, maybe. Would that help? Maybe. Gonna get me into deeper trouble? Maybe. That's why these big holes are here. Okay, I'm just gonna do the top. That didn't make much difference. Okay, let me loosen the bottom. There we go. That helped it to shift. Here we are. No wonder these screws are cockeyed. Maybe that's why this was the first screw you put in or something, or you just couldn't uncockeye it. Let go. Yeah. Yeah, so I was commenting about you make a repair, and then the repair, even though it's a great improvement, the repair is not perfect, like these black marks. Somebody's going to look through the front and go, what are those black dots there? That's those ugly black dots are the improvement. Or let's say you're working on, just as a pretend example, you're working on a radio cabinet. It's all scratched up. Clean it all up. You make all the scratches disappear, but one. Well, that one is going to catch people's eye, maybe more than the whole thing being scratched up. Oh, this is not going right. Cutting a new set of threads in there. Wow. Not very nice. This one had a washer behind it, didn't it? screw head must be just a wee bit small or something. I think that's it. How tight do you have to get that? Walk these ones back down. I can't really see the spring to see how much further the string got pulled. Bring the string down here, spring rather, down here. There, can you see that? So the knot almost made it to the hole, but not quite. Good. Good, we got away with that. The string is plenty tight. Now, it's still dragging down here. So bend the pointer or bend these tabs. Let's bend the pointer. Okay, so that's something you don't really want to do. Well, there we are. So you bend it out too far, and it's going to drag along the back of the glass, which is actually worse. You don't want it scraping on the glass. There we are. You do not want to lubricate this. Or if you're really anxious to, something like a little bit of soap, but no oil, because the oil will come down the front, of course. Time to do some lubricating in there. I might as well finish this all off now. So I'm just going to shoot a little bit of WD-40. There's ball bearings right in here. Okay, it doesn't take much. And we have a bearing at the back here. And then there's grounding springs inside here, which are hard to recognize. They're pieces of metal that are designed to rub on the turning part here. So they're like a piece of metal. This is a stupid way to show it, but it's sprung out like this and pushing against the little tiny edge of the center shaft. Those are quite important for contact purposes. So, you know what I've got for that? I've got some super stuff. Let's try the super stuff. Okay, so this is I have a lot of doubts that there's tremendous differences between these products, but I have it. So I will use it. Just the tiniest amount. Tiniest amount because this stuff is really expensive. Now the place where most of the friction, if you like, is felt is actually in the knob. It's actually in the knob bushing or bearing or whatever you want to call it. So we're going to go after that. Let's turn this like this. You want to get right up. I can turn it right upside down here, can't I? Let's do that. Go. Now we'll take a look at that. So they don't want the knob is a very tactile thing on a radio. When you grab the knob, It's a little like slamming the door on a car. You make a lot of judgments about the radio. So if the knob were all shaky and wiggly, give me a better radio. So they want these to be pretty stiff feeling in terms of wiggling. So they need a pretty large sleeve to achieve that. So if you see the sleeve coming back here, and put just a little bit of oil right here. This will work its way towards the front. Ooh, that was quite a bit. And this thing will probably loosen right up. Okay, it's really, really tough because it's actually sitting on top of those pulleys. There we go. Lovely. All is good. You can see the string tracking back and forth on the spool. The spool is shaped, you know, like a U-shaped valley. And the idea is the string will walk, and when it starts trying to climb up the edge of the valley, it can't. It'll slide back. There'll be a lot of problems in here with dirt, and rust, and corrosion. This one's great though. So the string just slides back very nicely. You don't even know what's happening. If they climb up the sides here, the string keeps traveling and climbs up the sides. Eventually, in this case, this string will fold over and start locking against this string. Whoop, let's do it this way. This string back here will climb up, fall over, and start locking this string. And the sensation you get when you're turning it is all of a sudden it gets really tight, but there's some of this left. It's not rock solid. And if you keep pushing it, you'll drag the strings a little bit, but there's a really high risk of breaking the string at that point. So if you're out buying a radio and you're feeling the knob and trying to make a judgment, is this $10 radio worth my 10 bucks? Those are the things you should be imagining in your head while you're doing it. Okay, time to put this guy back in the cabinet, which is right behind me here. Okay, a little tricky for me to get this on camera without reflections all over the place, but I think that's okay. Get it to look a little more level. Just from the camera. Now there's a couple of blobs of paint on the front here, one here and one here. I want to remove them with this brand new razor blade. And what I'm concerned about is that there's writing on the front. And there is writing on the front. All these green numbers are printed on the front. Right below the green number is a little green dot on the front. Everything else is on the back. I think, yeah. So there's no green numbers around it, so I'm pretty sure I can razor blade it off here. As much as I think all good radios, vintage radios, have paint on them, I'm getting rid of it from this one. Tricky. I seem to remember owning paint radios that when we were going to paint, that's the radio we'd bring in the room. And I did a fair bit of paid painting when I was going to college. Interior painting. I don't think there's any other drops or spots like that. This still needs a bit of a wash up. Okie dokie. Those are gone. Now what about the pointer? So how do you know the radio chassis is in the proper spot? It's not to the left or to the right. It's by looking at the position of the controls and seeing that they're dead center in the holes here, which they are. So the chassis is in the right spot. So let's move the pointer all the way over and see where we get. That certainly feels like the end of the run. Check the capacitor. Yep. So now I'm going to want to move the pointer over to Now I've got this in here now to explain how this is done. It's not done the way you might imagine. I can explain it with a sample piece of string. Where's the old string? This is important. This is really helpful to know this. So, okay, so there's a string in there with a pointer hanging from it. See where the pointer is? Let's pretend it's hanging from this string. There it is. And if you wanted to move it this way, you might think the way to do it is to grab the string firmly here and then push it across the string to get it to where you want it to go. But in fact, it's the opposite. You hold the string on the side where you want it to go. You hold it, you pinch it down here with a pair of pliers or something like that. You lock it. Then you can push the pointer towards it. What's happening is as soon as you push on the pointer, the string goes slack between my hand and the pointer. And the tension comes off that's holding the pointer in place. And you just slide it along real easy. But if you hold it here, which was kind of the thing we would tend to think would be right, then when you go to push the pointer, if you drop the string, push the pointer, you increase the tension through the gripping part of the pointer, and you can't slide it unless you push really hard. And how do strings get broken? That's one way, I guess. So, having said that, I am now going to attempt this myself. So, of course, from back here, I can't see what I'm doing. So I'm holding the string, pushing the pointer. Actually, I can come right over the top and look down. Okay, one more. I'm trying to line it up very carefully with the here, and a little bit of parallax, but how much can that matter? Let's go the other way now, see what we get. Did it stop right where it should? See, the pointer is far from dragging on the glass too, which is good. Here we come. Right on the money. So we now know the pointer is in the right place. Now, some people will glue it at this point. I would not recommend that. That's a headache for the next guy. That's fantastic. Very good. Pointer's on the string. Okay, well that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Tomorrow, back to the alignment, and then it's into the cabinet for a check of the frequency dial and probably a slight adjustment again to get it really lining up good. And then the very last thing, we have to listen to the speaker, hear how it sounds. We wanted to test a Bluetooth input into the phono. I haven't done that yet. And listen to it in the evening at some point. See what it really sounds like in the end. We're right down to the wire now, down to the string. See ya.